We're here in downtown Los Angeles at OFC. I'm Craig Matsumoto, and we're hanging out at the Viavi booth, where they've got a lot going on. They've won 3 awards from Lightwave magazine. For the 6th year in a row, they've won a Best Practices Award from Frost & Sullivan. And the big talk here at the booth is 400 gig. Really, it's a big topic all around OFC this year, because 400 gig is a likely speed grade to happen after the 100 gig generation. But Viavi, being a test company, has to have the equipment for 400 gig testing ready before the 400 gig market is fully formed. They're showing off an interoperability demo, for example. They've linked up their equipment with equipment in booths at the Ethernet Alliance and at Finisar, which is right next door, just showing how the stuff works together. They've also got equipment for other upcoming technologies such as Flex E and Flex O, and they have some of the normal geeky features that you would expect. Things like a new tunable filter that lets you generate arbitrary signal shapes. So we're talking now with Tom Fawcett. Tom, how's it going?
Doing well, thanks, Craig.
So Tom, let's talk about 400 gig. How does the 400 gig market look?
It's looking good. I think we have had a product on the market for 6 months, and certainly as a test and measurement vendor, one of our roles is getting products into the ecosystem early. Right. As you know, we work from standardization through to IC developers, module developers, subsystems and system developers, all the way through to high volume production. Early on in a market like 400 gig, we're trying to work with customers across the ecosystem to help them build confidence and understanding in their solutions as they develop them.
So as the 400 gig standard evolves, what role do you guys play in that evolution?
Well, I think a couple of roles. One, we sit on the standards body, so we are heavily involved through technical contribution, but also working with the ecosystem to develop a common understanding and alignment around what should the standards be, how should they be defined, what is the state of the art, how do we validate the state of the art, and so on.
You're working with the Ethernet Alliance on 400 gig too, right? So what's happening there?
Sure. So not only are we working with the Ethernet Alliance, we're members in the Ethernet Alliance. Ethernet Alliance is there to promote Ethernet more broadly. Clearly in our portfolio we have a range of products in Ethernet, but certainly at 400 gig where you see us demoing our solution in the Ethernet Alliance booth, we took the opportunity to really to highlight our solution and really help to widen interest and understanding in what we're doing specifically at 400 gig, but more importantly, how Ethernet is proliferating to the next data rate.
You're also working on Flex E and Flex O. Tell me a little bit about what's going on there.
Sure. Flex E and Flex O are really designed to say, how do we more efficiently use bandwidth as opposed to one size fits all? And just as we're doing in 400 gig as a whole, we work across the ecosystem from early standardization through IC module system vendors all the way into high volume production. And at this phase, what we're doing is really helping to build consensus in the industry around what is Flex E and Flex O, how do we define it, how do we validate it, and so on. And our role, obviously, is an early technology investor helping to define state-of-the-art there. You can see on the booth here at the show, we've got some early Flex O demonstrations that we're doing in our 400 gig system as well.
Well, Tom, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks for having me, Craig. Good. Glad you stopped by and saw the stuff we're working on.
So that's what Viavi has going on. And remember, they're a test company, so the things they're working on reflect the technologies we're going to see in the market in a year or two. So we'll be back at OFC 2018 and see what becomes of all this.